having a mentor it's almost essential these days because as young men, it's hard to navigate through this world and know what path to take and what to do and what not to do, because one wrong move and you can lose your life these days. It's really that serious, and I hate it because as a kid, I was able to walk my entire city. Now, mind you, I'm from Paterson, New Jersey. Anybody that knows Paterson, New Jersey knows that that's one of the most dangerous cities in all of New Jersey. There's the four major dangerous cities. There's Paterson, Newark, Trenton, and Camden. Those are the dangerous cities in New Jersey. And I was able, as a kid, even as a teenager, to walk the entire city, all times of the day and night. It didn't matter. Sometimes me and my cousins was away from the house at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and it took us 30, 40 minutes to walk back to the house, and we were safe.
Welcome to the Breaking the Silence podcast. I am your host, Author Nikki Nicole. Here I believe in winning together and creating a safe, supportive space for people to share their stories and start their healing journey. My passion is to help people confront hidden battles, embrace their truths, and take steps towards a more fulfilling life. Every episode is designed to break the silence on topics that often go unspoken, leading to conversations that uplift, inspire, and transform. Join me as we break the barriers and find strength through shared experiences, one story at a time.
Hey everyone, welcome to another powerful episode of Breaking the Silence. I'm your host, Author Nikki Nicole, and this is the platform where the light shines on incredible people doing great things and making a difference in the world. Together, we will uncover untold stories, break barriers, and challenge the norms to inspire change. So get ready to be inspired, learn, and join this movement as we break the silence on issues that matter the most and bring awareness to great people in the world. So let's dive into the episode today. Today's guest is not a stranger to the platform. He is my friend, my brother from another sister, literally, y'all. His name is Thomas Barron. He is a father, a husband, a preacher, and a huge Lakers fan. Yeah, I said it. As he would say, a everyday guy, normal guy, trying to do good things in this world. So today we're going to sit down and talk about manhood, fatherhood, and how things have changed over the time. So I hope this episode will be the episode for young men in America to open their eyes and begin to make changes in their lives. So after his countdown, please welcome this amazing man of God.
My God. My God.
You're destined for greatness.
My God, oh, yeah. My God is good. My God, oh, yeah.
Hey, Thomas.
What's going on? What's going on?
Thanks so much for being a guest. We finally get to be on the platform together because with our schedules, boy, it was for a minute there.
And mine changed recently, so yeah, everything is topsy-turvy, upside down.
I'm telling you. So how's it going? How's things going?
It's going good. I don't have no complaints. I got a roof over my head. I got food in my belly, and my kids is happy, and my wife is happy. I'm good.
I know that's right. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself. I know you're going to keep it short. You be like, I'm just a man. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, like you said, just a regular guy, living a regular life, serving an irregular God. I'm married, been married for 14 years, gonna be 15 this June. About to be 40 this year.
Ooh,
turning the big 4-0, and I'm actually looking forward to it. I am not ashamed of getting old because some people don't.
yeah.
So I am okay with turning 40. Got 2 babies and a bonus son. Bonus son, if you hear a little kid screaming in the background from downstairs, that's him. My bio kids, they are as silent as mice. You won't even know they're in the house unless you call them. But life right now is very, very good. Moving closer to God, keeping a roof over my head, keeping my kids fed. Life is great.
Good. That's great, man. Yes. You said if you hear somebody screaming, that's the bonus kid. I mean,
Yeah, he's 5 years old, and he is a 0 to 100 from the time his feet touch the floor in the morning till the time he go to bed. Yeah, I've never seen anything or anybody with that much energy, but he got it.
wow. So how do you feel? How do you feel being a man today versus how, you perceived it coming up when you was younger? How do you look at it differently now?
Um, it's it's different, but not a lot different. At least not for me. I think it's going to be more different for my son's generation than it was for mine. I grew up in the era of men did all the work and paid all the bills, and women took care of the house. And right now, I'm actually in the process and making moves forward to where I can do that in my household again. There was a time when my wife did not work. She is working now because we need it. We have to. In this economy and where we live and all kind of stuff going on, you need that second income. But if everything works out the way that I plan on it working out, then she will be back home full time, taking care of the kids. Because our 2 kids are homeschooled. Our bonus son, our foster son, is not, and that's simply because we can't homeschool him right now. It's laws and things of that nature. He's not technically, legally ours yet, but he will be. Um, but I grew up in the the men did all the manual labor, and the women took care of home and the kids. And I grew up where I didn't have my dad around. My brother-in-law and my big brother were my dads. I mess with them all the time and say, y'all where all my bad habits come from. It's funny, but it's true because all my habits came from how I saw them deal with their women, deal with my sister, deal with work. And my brother and my brother-in-law, they are workaholics. I mean, my older brother, he will be at work from sun up to sundown sometimes. And he's a barber, but he will literally be there, open the shop, and be there and close the shop. He will stay there the entire day. And my brother-in-law, he works in sanitation. He has been, but he's been doing this like since before I was born, I believe. And he's been doing that forever. And if anybody knows anything about sanitation, it ain't no easy work. It's hard
Right.
work. You're up before the sun comes up, and sometimes you're not home until the sun is almost down, depending on the day of the week and the workload. So I saw nothing, the men around me, I saw workaholics. So I became that. I wanted to be the hard worker and take care of my family and allow my wife to be able to stay home and take care of the kids. And like I said, we're in the process of that. But social media has changed a lot when it comes to being a man,
Ooh,
because now we got all these movements. And if you look at social media, which to be honest, I want to get rid of mine, but there are certain circumstances that won't allow me to. Um, we got this whole man versus woman thing going on in social media. Like just yesterday I saw a post a guy put up like men need women, women need men, we need this, we need that. And the first thing I saw was a bunch of people like, who says I need this and who says I need that? And I'm like, this was supposed to be an uplifting post. Like we all need each other. And they're like, no, I don't. I don't need this and I don't need that. And I
God.
believe that men need women and women need men and women need women and men need men. Period. We all need each other.
Yes. Yes,
We
absolutely.
cannot live this life alone. The Bible says it was not good for man to be alone. It's not good for women to be alone either. We were made for each other. We were made to coexist with each other. And it's so different now as far as the information goes,
Yes.
because we all have information at our fingertips all the time.
All the
Whether
time.
it's good or false information, it's information nonetheless. Man, being a man now is. I told Shira all the time. The best thing I ever did when I was young was get married young.
Mm.
The best thing I ever did was get married young. because I got married at 23. A lot of people just think that's young.
Wow.
To me, that's not that's a good age for me, at least, because the life that I was living wouldn't have took me nowhere. I would have lost out on the woman that I wanted to be my wife. And the dating game now,
Sure.
I read a lot of
Ooh,
horror stories and I hear a lot of horror stories. So I am glad I am not a 40-year-old man out here in these streets
I'm
trying
telling
to
you.
find somebody, because I would be single. I told my wife, me and my wife had this conversation. She was like, what if I passed away? What would you do? Would you remarry? I said, nope, I'll be single for the rest of my life.
Okay, I said the same thing.
I
Oh,
told her just like this. I said, listen, I'll be just like Paul. I'll be single forever. I'll stay by myself. I don't have time to be trying to figure out nobody else. Listen, I done dealt with you for 17 years. I done figured you out. We done molded and changed each other. I'm not trying to do that all over again.
exactly. Who does
I'm
that?
I'm gonna be like Joy from that Tyler Perry play. I'm happy with Jesus alone. That's exactly what that would be. Because
Oh,
I
that's
can't.
good.
I can't. I don't have the patience to learn somebody else. I don't.
No, no, no.
It's too much work these days, and I don't have that kind of patience. I know my wife. I'm still learning my wife, but I know my wife
Right.
because I believe, like I told you before, once you stop growing, you start dying, and we all grow, we all evolve. So I'm constantly learning her. She's constantly learning me. But in aspects, there are certain things that don't change about you, and
Yeah.
we know each other very, very, very well. But back on topic, I don't got on the soapbox.
Yeah, I got you that time.
Yeah, you definitely got me on my soapbox that time. But being a man now is, let's put it this way: being a black man is rough. It's
Yes.
always been rough. That has not changed. The world is going to beat us up out here. But now we're in a situation where we can come home, and if you got a good wife, you can come home and have peace.
Peace.
And that's what I have. I have peace. And that's priceless. You can't put a price tag on peace. And if you're a black man in this America, and you can come home and have peace, bless you, bless your heart, because not every man has that.
No,
Not
no.
every man has that. And I'm learning to put my phone down, because too many times we have our phone in our hands, and now your marriage is being lived through your cell phone, and you're worried about, you're finding out stuff about your wife on social media. Come
Exactly.
on now.
Now that's crazy.
That should
That's
never
crazy.
that should never be. And she's learning stuff about you on social media. Can't be.
Mhm.
Can't be. And then throw being a man of God on top of being a black man. You got you got a whole nother situation
Whole
going on
nother
here,
world.
because
Whole nother world.
everybody believes you're supposed to act a certain way if you're a man of God.
Mhm.
And they see me and they know I'm a man of God, and they start acting as if we're in church. And I try to tell people, listen, I'm still a regular dude.
Right.
I'm still a person. I still like to have fun. I still like to hang out with my friends. I still play video games. I still get upset. I don't walk around screaming hallelujah all the time.
Right.
I'm still a person with an assignment. That's all that
Mhm.
is. I'm a person that God has given an assignment to. And when I fulfill that assignment, then everything is done with. But in the meantime, I still got to be a person to you and everybody else.
Exactly. You're still human.
I'm still, yeah, exactly. I'm still a human person. I'm still a person. I'm still a human. I still have emotions. I still get upset. I still want to fight sometimes. I'm from the hood. I still want to throw hands at times.
Not throw hands.
So
Oh man.
it's a lot that comes with being a man these days, and it's hard to put into words if you don't live it. Even
Yes.
if you do live it, it's hard to put it in words, because you got to go to work, you got to come home, you got kids, you got a wife, you got your own hobbies, you got church if you're me, you got church a couple times a week if you me, and you're trying to fit all this into this bubble,
Hmm.
and you're pulled every which way,
Yes. But
and you're blessed if you have someone to help you with that, and I do.
but you know what, Thomas? The generation now to me is totally different from what I grew up seeing,
Hmm.
a man be. The guys now, gentlemen now, they don't work. They think women are supposed to take care of them. It's like the
Mm-hmm.
roles have switched now. The men don't work, the women work. And while the
Mm-hmm.
men stay at home. I don't know if that necessarily is a good thing, but at the end of the day, you still need two people now to survive.
Yeah.
One person can't do it all. They
No,
really
you can't.
can't.
It's having one income unless you making let's just throw a ballpark figure. Unless you're making 150, 200K a year, you need two incomes just to make ends meet, just to be able to pay bills. Forget about all the extra stuff. Forget
Mhm.
about vacations. Forget about buying new cars. Just to pay rent, utilities, and feed yourself, you got to have two incomes. And God forbid you got kids, multiple kids,
God.
because most people, let's be real, a lot of people tend to want to live off the government, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with anybody getting assistance from the government. They do the least amount that they can for you, but
Right.
even that is not enough.
It's not. It's just not.
It's not enough. And if you make a certain amount, forget it, you ain't get nothing.
You get nothing. Nothing. Just
Getting
ruled
nothing.
out altogether. So like
Yeah.
the bills, you still got household bills. In some cases, Thomas, they don't even count car insurance or
Mm-mm.
car payment into the budget when you try to get that assistance. So you got this money that you spend on this stuff, they're not even accounting for.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you live in certain regions, like I used to live in North New Jersey, we don't pay for water. Your landlord pays for your water.
Mm.
I live in the South now. You pay everything. You're
Everything.
paying light, gas, water, sewage, trash. Those are your utilities.
Yes. Everything.
And on top of that, you got rent, car insurance. If you got more than one car, you pay two car insurance, possible two car notes. You got kids schooling. You got to feed yourself. You need gas to get back and forth to where you're gonna go.
Clothes, shoes. The list goes on and on, but they don't take accountability for none of that stuff. So, and they just say, boom, you're not qualified.
Yep. Yep.
Period. That's the sad part about it. So, what challenges do you think a black man in America faces? Because I have a son coming up, and it's scary to see him. He's 28 years old. He'll be 29 in March, and it's sad that him as a black man, I look at him and how he struggles to get jobs, and people are like, well, he's a man. He should be able to get a job because he's a man.
Mm-mm.
Everybody's struggling, man or woman struggling to try to
Mhm.
make it in this world. So what challenges do you face, as a black man in America, with that stipulation on you? You're a man, you should be able to get a job, you should be able to do this, you should be able to do that.
Yeah. It's especially the employment thing is rough. I mean, it's really, really rough. Being fully transparent, I lost my job in July of last year, and I went on several interviews. Now, mind you, just my name alone will get me an interview because I have one of the most common names, period. So being my name is so common, that'll get me just in the interview. But now, once they see you, they already have a preconception of who you are or what you stand for. And I didn't get a job until this past November. And even then, that was kind of my friend hooked me up kind of deal. He's a manager where I work now, so he was able to say, "Hey, bro, I'm opening up this position. Go ahead and apply for it." Because I don't even know if I'd have a job now if he hadn't done that. Because even back then, I was getting interviews, but nowadays they don't even want to do in-person interviews. They want to do these over the phone interviews. They
Mm-hmm.
want to do these Zoom interviews. I'm like, you can't know me and feel my presence over the phone or through a Zoom call. And I'm old school when it comes to showing up for an interview. I'm showing up with a tie on and a shirt and some slacks and some nice shoes. But then you got, the young cats that come out here and they're showing up in t-shirts, jeans, and flip-flops to a
And get the
job
job.
interview. And they get it. And I'm like, what is happening right now in this world? I don't care if it's just a retail job. I'm showing up with a shirt and collar and a tie on. And if I don't have a tie, that shirt and collar is going to be put together well enough for me to not have to wear a tie. But the employment I talked to my manager, and he says that most people these days do what they ghost jobs now. They'll go on the interview process, they'll accept the job, and they'll do one of two things. Either they'll just ghost you when it's time to start working, or they'll sit through training, get paid for training, and never show up to actually do work.
Wow.
I've heard that from multiple people in multiple jobs now. And I'm the type of person, like I'm over here right now with a job, and my wife has a job, and I'm considering getting another one. Like, and
Wow.
yet you got these kids out here that don't want to work.
No,
Now
they
it's
don't.
all about Twitch streaming, YouTubes, TikToks, getting paid on social media, and that's all well and good for me. That's all well and good, but I'm not a social media content creator. I'm not trying to get paid on Facebook. I'm not trying to get paid off TikTok. I'm not trying to get paid off no social media. If it comes, then so be it. But I'm not a content creator. That's not my lane. But if you make your money online, cool, fine. I am not putting y'all down at all because I know Twitch streamers that make real, real money. I'm
Real money.
talking about life changing, never have to have a job money. Or these YouTubers out here that have 3, 4, 5, 6 million subscribers and they're making enough money to not have to work a 9 to 5.
Mhm.
That's where the difference comes in now because everybody wants to content create.
That's it.
Everybody wants to go viral. I don't want to be viral. I don't need to be viral. I don't seek to be viral. You don't see me out here putting up videos and stuff of that nature. But also, I'm not talking down on those who do because that's
Right.
y'all's lane, not mine. As far as the challenges I see that come forward these days, a lot of it has to do with identity crisis.
Yes.
A lot of people, a lot of these young cats, they come up and they don't know who they are. And they're not willing to find out. They're not willing to do the work to find out who they are in them in themselves. They're finding identity through social media. They're finding identity through
Mhm.
content creation. They're finding identity through media consumption, period. Telling you who you are instead of finding out who you are.
That
I'm
part.
actually glad I grew up in the era that I did because we didn't have no internet. Internet didn't come about until I was like, what, in my teenager years. Like that's when
Mm.
internet really got big when I was 13, 14. And back then it was dial up. You
Yes.
sat and you heard the noises and you waited. And God forbid somebody picked up the phone while you was on.
Oh my God. Everything just corrupt. Just shut
Everything is
everything.
gone. It's like, get off the phone. But
Oh,
I
they
grew
don't
up
know
in
nothing
that
about
era
that.
where being on the internet was almost a privilege. Like it
Yes.
was something that was sought after. Now you can't live without it. Me and you
Literally.
couldn't be doing what we're doing now if we didn't have the internet. But back then you had to meet up with your friends and you had to walk the block and find out where all the bikes was at because that's where all your friends were.
Right. Right. Good
And if
days.
they didn't
Those
have
good
a
days.
phone, you was walking all over the place figuring out where your friends was. Now I can pick up my phone and just find a location and just go to that location where they are.
That's it. That's
They
it.
have it's we live in a world where it's more convenient than ever. And the convenience has made us lazy
Lazy. Very.
because I worked for the internet company here. God forbid someone's Wi-Fi goes out because now y'all calling the company and I'm picking up the phone and you cussing me out because your internet is down. I understood the people that worked from home. I get that. I worked from home for a time. If the internet goes down, you can't work, your boss got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But if you at home and you watching Netflix and it buffers for a few seconds, there's no reason you should be calling me. Just give it a second.
Give it a second.
It's everything, every little small inconvenience now is a mountain to people. As
Yes.
opposed to us growing up without this stuff, where you had to go to where you needed to be to see the people you wanted to see.
For real.
Because not everybody had phones.
I didn't have one until I was 18.
Cell phones wasn't a thing when I was growing up. I'm sure they weren't a thing when you was growing up either. It
No.
wasn't. There were no cell phones. You had to pick up a landline and call people,
Or a payphone. We had payphones
or
then.
Oh yeah, and if mama needed the phone, you was getting off the phone.
You better. And you didn't have call, and you didn't have call waiting.
Yeah, call waiting wasn't even a thing when I was a kid. You calling, you get a busy signal.
Exactly. Mom better be waiting on the phone call and you sitting up on the phone with your friends.
Right. It reminds me of that scene in House Party where a kid gets on the phone and his father screaming upstairs, "I'm waiting on the phone call. Don't hang up the phone with your friends."
But that was real life then, though.
Yeah, and I wasn't allowed to use the phone.
Yeah, I had a time period to use my phone. Or when you did finally get your cell phone and you had minutes. You couldn't call nobody until after 9 o'clock.
And
Don't
my
call
first cell
me
phone
for
was
that.
prepaid.
Okay.
You had to buy minutes. And even if you dialed the number, it used a minute. They didn't even have to pick up the phone and you used a minute.
Exactly.
Now it's unlimited everything.
Everything. They are. You right. It has made people lazy.
Yeah, we
Lazy.
have too much at our fingertips.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We really do.
That's why I make my kids read books off the phone.
Mm.
You're gonna pick up an actual book. You're gonna pick up an actual book and you're gonna flip some pages.
Got to. They got to, because you don't even have to leave your house now to apply for a job.
Nope.
You don't,
Yeah.
like you said, you don't have to leave your house to have an interview.
Yeah, my first job, I had to go to the store
With
and
resume in hand.
with a pen and paper and with a pen in hand and a resume, and I had to fill out the application by hand.
Yes, I used to hate that. I ain't gonna lie, I used to hate it, but hey.
Yeah, that was when you and your friends used to walk the mall and y'all go to the store. Hey, y'all hiring? Y'all got applications, and you got a ton of applications that stacked this big, and you take them all home and you bring them all back the next day.
Yep. Yep.
You don't have to do that now. Now you got Indeed, where you put your resume up in one click and your job got everything.
That's it. That's it.
Inconvenience has made us lazy as a community.
And then on top of that, Thomas, the employers are to the point now where they don't want you calling. You know, my mom used to tell me, call and check on a job. The employers don't want you calling them and asking them about no job. We got
Nowadays they don't even give you no number.
Right.
I'm waiting on the job right now when I ain't got nobody to contact.
See?
My wife said the other day, she was like, "Did you email such and such?" I said, "There's nobody to email. I just gotta wait."
And that's sad though, because or then you get hit with the email. Well, we decided to go with another candidate.
Oh God, I can't stand that.
Not personal at all.
I can't stand that. We decided to go in another direction for this position. Like, bro, okay, no problem. let me go ahead and keep looking. Or you get the job, or you get in my situation where you actually get the interview, you knock the interview out the park. The manager's like, "I'm gonna call you this day, and I'm gonna call you that day," and then you never hear nothing.
Never hit you back.
Didn't even email me. Like I just kind of moved on. Like he told me I had the job. He was like, I'm gonna call you on this date around this time. Nothing. Not even an email.
Wow. So what you saying about your kids, having kids now in this world, do you think the village still exists? And like all this stuff we're talking about, how we used to go through this and we used to go that. We used to play outside when we was young too. We played outside. The kids don't play outside now. So do you still think the village still exists when it comes down to raising your children now?
It depends on how strong your family dynamic is before you have those children.
That's true.
Me personally, I have a humongous village. My brother, my sisters, my mother, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my brother, on both sides, we have a huge village of people that are willing to help us with our children, with anything that we need help with. But on the other foot, I know people that have no village whatsoever. It's just them and their kids. And sometimes daddy not even in the picture. See, me growing up, I also had a village of my siblings. So my mother, I mess with her all the time. My mother had kids very young. She had her first 3 kids very young. And then she waited 15 years after her 3rd kid to have me. And I mess with her all the time and say, "Mom, I was an accident. Don't lie to me. And I was not planned." And I just do it to mess with her because I know it gets to her. I know it does. But there's a 15-year gap between me and my mother's youngest daughter. And I grew up and they were my village. Like my oldest sister is like another mother to me. My brother, that's my big brother. He always will be. He's my ace. And then my other sister, she's like my best friend. We grew up. I was always at one of my sister's houses. Always. Always at one of my sister's houses because they had kids and there's such an age gap. My oldest niece and nephew, only 2.5 years younger than me.
Wow.
So growing up, my nieces and nephews are like my little brothers and sisters that I never got to have. I don't even allow them to call me uncle half the time because we're so close in age. I feel weird with them calling me uncle.
Right.
It's like, yo, uncle, don't call me that.
Do that in public.
The
Don't do
younger
that.
ones, they get to call me that. The ones that came later, they get to do it. But the oldest four, they don't call me uncle. I don't want it. Y'all only 2 and 3 years younger than me. My wife and my oldest niece are the same age.
Wow.
It's like and people at first she was like, that's weird. I was like, no, it's not because it's just such a gap between my mother's children that's just how it happened. But the village does still exist. It just depends on how you build it.
That's
It can
true.
be family, it can be friends, because we have family and friends that all love our kids like crazy. And I'm a part of other people's villages where I love their children, and their children can come to my house anytime they want. Like
Wow.
my church family, we have the Drakefors. Their kids can come to my house anytime, anytime they want. Those are my nieces. Those are my two nieces and my nephew and me. And I don't have a problem because I grew up in a huge family. I got 20 plus nieces and nephews between because I got between my brother and my two sisters, between biological and adopted, and then my oldest nieces and nephews that had their own children now. I'm almost up to 30, I think. I gotta sit down and count.
Wow.
And I think I'm just about up to 30 nieces and nephews between my actual nieces and nephews and my great nieces and nephews. I think I'm almost at 30 now. So
Wow.
we grew up with a huge family, so we had to build a huge village. Otherwise,
Right.
we all be in spots. And
Right.
that's no fun for anybody. We had to try to remain close as we can.
But you know, when I grew up, I came from a place where not only was my family the village, the church was a village, the school
Hmm.
was a village. If I acted up outside and my mama didn't know mama wasn't around, and somebody from that village saw me cutting up, they were able to put me in place and tell
Hmm.
me that, hey, that's not what you're gonna even cut my butt if they needed to.
Yep.
So now though it's different because these parents are so touchy with things. They don't want nobody to say nothing to their children. They don't want nobody to do nothing to their children. But those villages are necessary in your life, and that
Yeah,
leads to like
absolutely.
mentorships too. So that brings me next to my next question. What role do you think mentorship plays in empowering Black men and just children in general? And how do you approach mentorship in your own life? Because I know you out here mentoring somebody now.
Yeah. So having a mentor it's almost essential these days because as young men, it's hard to navigate through this world
Yes.
and know what path to take and what to do and what not to do because one wrong move and you can lose your life these days. It's really that serious, and I hate it because as a kid, I was able to walk my entire city. Now, mind you, I'm from Patterson, New Jersey. Anybody that knows Patterson, New Jersey, knows it as one of the most dangerous cities in all of New Jersey. There's the four major dangerous cities. There's Patterson, Newark, Trenton, and Camden. Those are the dangerous cities in New Jersey. And I was able, as a kid, even as a teenager, to walk the entire city all times of the day and night. It didn't matter. Sometimes me and my cousins was away from the house at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and it took us 30, 40 minutes to walk back to the house, and we were safe. Now I can't worry about my kids outside in the front
No.
without me being there.
No.
My mother said, go outside and don't come back until the street light came on.
Okay.
And when the street light came on, you came back in the house. Now I got to sit out there and supervise my kids and fear that somebody might snatch them up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So to
Different.
answer your question, mentorship I think is essential because you have to. These young men need and women. Let's be honest. These young men and women need some direction, and the direction they can't get direction from their peers because their peers don't even know.
Nope. Nope. You can't.
Because when we were growing up, our peers were like, as a teenager, your peers are like your number one priority. Well, now teenagers ain't even each other's priorities no more. It's all about me, 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 me.
And then you came from the same kind of walks of life too. You either went to church together, you went to school together, you went to church together. You pretty much was around each other all the time. So you kind of aligned to a degree with some of the people that you were hanging around with. So it's just different now. It's
Now they got friends across the world
yes.
that they sit on Discord and WhatsApp with all day and all night.
Mhm.
And I had to learn that, I have to learn as an older man. I'm gonna call myself an older man. I'm still young, but I'm an older person to them.
Right.
I had to learn how to connect with them. And we have to learn how to connect with these young people. Because if you don't learn how to connect with them, they will not listen to you.
It will not. It will
Even
not.
the ones in your church. Because I had a young man in my church that no longer goes to our church that I felt like I was mentoring for a while there. And he would listen to me. He would hit me up for advice. And he'd be like, bro, I took your advice and it worked. And that made me feel good because now I'm giving back something that somebody else gave to me. And I'm trying to do the same. I'm doing the same thing with my son because I'm telling him, man, this life is not what I lived. And now it's what you live. And now you have to be more careful than I ever was. I tell him the stories about me being able to walk the city, me being able to be anywhere at any time and feel safe. Now I can't let him walk our dogs without feeling like somebody might actually try to snatch my son.
Yes. It's different.
And my son is quiet like me, like I was. Like, if you know me, I'm cool and I'm comfortable with you, then we can talk like me and you talk now. But if I don't know you, I am dead silent.
I'm that way too.
I don't
I gotta
speak
observe.
at all unless I'm spoken to. And he is the same way. Actually, he's more quiet than I ever was.
Oh,
Because if he's not comfortable, he won't even be around you. He'll leave the room.
I know that's right.
And I'm good with that. I'm okay with that. Leave, walk away. You don't have to be here. And I teach my kids the same thing because my thing is breaking curses with my kids that I felt. We come from a time where you were to be seen and not heard. And under certain circumstances, you better not be seen either.
Sure, but not. Sure.
But we also grew up in a situation where if your parents took you somewhere, even if you were uncomfortable, you better not say nothing until mommy's ready to go.
No.
And I'm teaching my kids that that's not okay. If you're uncomfortable around anybody or any area, let me know and we can leave.
Right.
I don't want you resenting me for taking you somewhere and you not enjoying yourself. The only non-negotiable in my house is church. You can feel uncomfortable in church all you want. We going.
You sound like my mama. You going? I don't care where you went Saturday. You going to church Sunday?
That's how it was in my mama's house. That's how it was in my oldest. That's how it still is in my sister's house. She said, I don't care how you get there, but you gonna get there.
You
If
sick,
I
you
gotta
gonna
drive and
take
pick you up, you gonna get there. And that's how it is in my house. That's the non-negotiable. Church is non-negotiable. We are going. Unless you are not required to be there, if it's like a men's event or a women's event, then okay. But if it's Sunday or Wednesday, oh, we going. It's a prayer meeting, oh, you gonna be there. You can go to sleep. That's fine. If it's a prayer meeting, you can go to sleep. You ain't gotta pray with me. That's okay.
See, you better than my mom. I couldn't go to sleep. I better not go to sleep in church.
No, on Sundays and Wednesdays, you staying up. But if we're just going like a Tuesday night or a Thursday night and we're just praying, oh, you'll be okay. You'll be all right.
Okay.
No, Sunday and Wednesdays, no, you're gonna stay your butt up. You gonna get this word.
So you're gonna get this word.
But that has brought me such joy because right now I'm just mentoring my sons.
Right.
And if somebody asks me for advice, I'm more than happy to give it. And if I don't know, I'm gonna tell you I don't know, but I'll find the answer for you.
Right.
I'll find out because I got some wise men that I'm around all the time that I can just pick up my phone and send a text or call. My pastor doesn't have a problem hitting me up or me hitting him up like, hey, what's going on? So we as men, especially black men, have to get these black young men to understand that they live in a different time than we did, but we also have to learn how to connect with them on a level that they expect and respect.
Exactly.
Respect,
Exactly.
because this generation, this is not a respect is given. This is a respect is earned. We
Earn.
grew up, respect was given.
Give. And
You
it's sad.
it's yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. You was calling everybody miss or mister if they were older than you.
Yes.
I still call people like this lady at my job. I call her Miss Pam. I still do that to this day. Call old people Miss,
Me
Mister,
too.
and Miss because it's just a respect thing. These
Respect.
kids nowadays, they're calling you by your first name.
First name. Like, what we doing? Who raised you? Like, for real. It's Miss, Mister, like, yes, ma'am. But then you have some kids that just say yes and no. And it's not really disrespectful if they say yes and no, but when you come from, like you said, that area, you be like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. You're looking at them like,
Mm-hmm.
it's yes, ma'am. You get up offended. It's yes, ma'am, not yes or no.
Oh
But
man, certain phrases weren't even allowed in my house.
what?
Say what to my mother if you want to. I can't say what to my mother to this day.
I bet not. Bet not. I don't curse around my mom. It's just certain things I just don't say.
Yeah.
Any words
Mm-hmm.
is close to cursing. Don't say it.
Nope.
Like,
We couldn't say dag in my house.
bet not. You couldn't say
Shoot.
lion.
Nope. You couldn't say lying. You had to say storytelling. He
Like,
telling a story.
tell us, yeah, you couldn't say certain. You really couldn't. Like, you right. Back then, it was a time where you can leave your doors unlocked. You
Mm-hmm.
can walk up the streets. Your mom can send you to the store that's probably blocks and blocks away and not worry about somebody trafficking you or
Mm-hmm.
somebody molesting you or somebody doing something to you. Your neighborhoods were quiet. Like I said, you went to church with a majority of the people that you lived around. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
it was just safer then. But now I be
Mm-hmm.
I eyes is always on you. I cannot take my eyes off my kids, even my grown kids,
Mm-hmm.
because people taking people.
Yeah.
Man, this has been a great conversation, Thomas. But I have one more question for you.
Okay.
This is kind of a twisted question. What is one thing you wish you would have knew about life that you know today?
Credit.
Mm,
I wish I knew growing up how to manage my money better because I look back at all the money I spent and wasted and how credit works. I would have been a lot better off than what I am now. Um, Shout out to my mom. I love my mom. Um, and this is not me trying to down talk my mother. I would never, ever, ever in life. But I didn't grow up around a whole lot of people that manage money well.
right.
Um, and I knew some people that managed their money well, but not a lot. And even those that didn't teach us how to manage our money well.
Right.
Um, and now you grow up and you think, and we grew up, you know the hood. You grow up, you want fashion. You want this, you want that. And now it's technology. You want all the latest technology.
Mhm,
Everybody wants new iPhones every year. Everybody wants
mhm,
new Samsung Galaxies every year.
mhm.
And we grew up in this era of I was a sneakerhead.
Oh, I'm still a sneakerhead and a
And
hat
I had to let it go. I had a really bad addiction to sneakers. Like I could in my mama's house when I was a teenager, I want to say I was 17 or 18, I would literally had a full wall of just my shoes.
You sound like me. I got
Yeah,
shoes still
I
in the
literally
box.
yeah, I gave away shoes I never wore. That's how bad my sneaker addiction was.
Man, I don't know. I don't. You might have been a little bit worse. A little bit.
If I went to a store and I saw a pair of sneakers I wanted, then I got them. And I had the benefit of being somebody with smaller feet. So
Me too.
I could go like me and my boy Freddie, bless him. I miss him so much. He's passed away. We would go to the store and he had a big foot. He wore like a size 11. But me, I wore 7. So I can go to the girl section and get the same shoe and get 2 of them for the price he
The
paid for
same for the
one.
price he paid. Yeah. I love it.
So it was bad. I would go to the store and I would just get. Even with my clothes, I would go, like, if I was going somewhere, I had to have a new outfit on. I had
Yeah.
to. It was no option. Like, I went to when I was 19, I went to see Alicia Keys. She was gonna laugh because she knows how much I love Alicia. I went to see Alicia Keys, and I promise you, I went and bought an entire outfit just to go to a concert that she wasn't gonna see me anyway. Or I went to with my boy Freddie. His mother took us to a Knicks game. We way up in the rafters. I bought a whole new outfit because I don't know who I'm gonna see while I'm there. That's how I grew up. Of,
Yeah.
well, you're gonna be fly no matter where you go.
Yes.
And the problem with that is I wasted a whole lot of money being fly with clothes I don't even own no more.
Yep. Yep. Same.
And I look back and all that money I spent on stuff that I don't even have no more. I was like, dang, that's money I probably could have put away in the bank. And if my older sister sees this, she gonna call me because she was the one that always told me, save your money,
Mm,
save your money, save your money. And I didn't know how to save my money
right.
because once I see something I want,
You gonna get it.
I'm gonna buy it if I got the money for it.
But I'm with you on that. I mean, I used to buy shoes every single week. I used to buy clothes every single week. When I tell you I wanted everything to match, my shirt, my pants, my socks, my
Mm-hmm.
underwear, everything had to match. But when I got older and I got kids, things life started life in, and now I had to buy them things. I want them to look
Mm-hmm.
good. Then that's when I started limiting myself. Like now, I buy one pair of shoes a year. One pair of Jordans a year, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be the one to buy them though. They'll buy it for me
Yep.
on my birthday. So
Mm-hmm.
still I'm winning because they'll buy me at least 2, 3 pairs of shoes on my birthday. So I'm not even spending the money no more.
Yeah.
So you're right. You have to calm down. My mom, come from an era, not knocking my mom's era, but she didn't know a lot about credit
Mm-hmm.
because she wasn't taught that. You know, she was taught to spend the money. You can't take it with you no way when you die. So me coming up in my era, everything is credit, credit, credit. You got to have
Mm-hmm.
credit to get a house. You got to have a credit to get a car. You got to have credit to get a phone.
Yeah.
So she knows nothing. She knew nothing about that type of thing. All she knew was to work, make money to buy the things that you want. That's it. So I can agree. Credit is a major thing. That's something they should have taught in high school.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And they still don't, I believe.
No, but they really need to teach people about credit because those people that are middle class and poor, they need to kind of like know how to navigate that because they still can get things they want and need if they had credit.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm still working on getting mine better now to this day. But we getting it.
Man. So now you know what this time is. We're down to the BTS 30 seconds of fame. I'm gonna play your countdown again, and then I'm gonna give you the platform to give some advice to these young men out here because they lost. Young people in general in this generation are lost and they need a little bit of uplift and some advice. Give them some advice about how to navigate this thing we call life and how to follow you, how to find you, and how to connect with you as a mentor if they want some mentorship in their life. Because it's time, Thomas. It's time to mentor
Absolutely.
somebody. All right.
Young gentlemen, the best thing you can do in your life is to find someone in your life that will be wise enough to give you wise counsel. Um, Whether you do or don't believe in God is beside the point. Find someone who is willing to give you wise counsel, someone who knows how to manage their life, their money, and if they're married, their wife and their children. Um, Someone who is willing to take the time with you and sit down and figure out who you are and help you figure out who you are. There's nothing more important these days than finding out your identity in you and in Christ, because there's nothing more important in this world than Him, at least in my opinion. I say keep God first. Respect your parents, especially your mother and father. Some people have step parents. Let's be respectful of the older generation. And older generation, let's be respectful of our youngin too. I know we come from an era where you're supposed to be seen and not heard, and certain things aren't supposed to be said. It's a new time. Let's teach these kids, these young adults, how to navigate this world without going through the obstacles that we went through or that we are actually going through. Know that you are loved. Know that you are appreciated. Know that you are needed. Know that your life is important. Know that you are no less important than the next person. As far as where you can find me on Instagram, TommyGuns920, TommyGunz920. If you find me on Facebook, I'm connected to Nikki. If you have any questions, any comments, concerns, you want mentorship, you want wise advice, I'm willing to give it anytime I can. Just hit me up through Messenger, hit me up through Instagram. I'm always there. My notifications are always on, and I will answer you at my earliest convenience. And know that I'm here for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Thomas, for coming and taking out some time to sit down with me, because I know you be busy. And this year has been a year already on my end.
Yeah,
Else.
Thank you for having me. I really sincerely appreciate it.
Thank you. And we got to get you on that mentorship road, because they need it. It's a lot of guys out there that really need somebody to talk to and don't know who to talk to. And somebody relatable anyway. And you're definitely a relatable person where they can talk to.
Yeah, so I try to be.
Thank you so much. And I'll see you on the other side. You know, we're going to be clapping again soon.
Oh, absolutely. This ain't my last time.
Yeah, I know it. And thank you so much, everyone else out there, for tuning into this amazing episode. Man, we got deep there. We started talking about our roots. Man, but you know what? Those are the good days. Y'all don't know what y'all was missing. Yeah, we had dial-up internet. Yeah, we did. We had minutes. We had pagers. We had cassettes. We had all kinds of stuff. We had a good life, to be honest. Life today is not the same. But I thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into another amazing episode of Breaking the Silence. Remember, the courage to share your truth is the first step towards your healing. And every story brings you closer to understanding, growth, and change. So if today's episode has resonated with you in some type of way, share it with someone that needs it. And let's keep breaking the silence together. So until next time, stay strong, stay inspired, and always, and I mean always, speak your truth.
Hey y'all, it's your favorite Jersey girl, Shira Renee. And I just finished my episode with author Nikki Nicole from the Breaking the Silence podcast. And I want you to not only like, subscribe, and share, support the podcast, but I also want you to hit her up and be a guest, because it's always a vibe. Author Nikki Nicole is the professional, and the graphics are top tier. And she always asks the greatest questions. It's like sitting down with your favorite family member, your sister, your cousin, your auntie. So make sure you guys support Breaking the Silence podcast and, of course, The Blemished Beauty. Talk to you later.
Thanks for watching another episode of Breaking the Silence. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.